Okay, so our SLAs, Module 4, Section 4.4. What's an SLA? Different types, different components, conditions. So what do we think about conditions?
Conditions, the same conditions?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So what is an SLA? Service level agreement, right? So an agreement between two parties that the service level is going to be at a certain level. You're going to have access to different items. We do track these in one table. Contract underscore SLA is the system name. SLA is the easy name.
Okay.
The conditions, if it's set to count for 4 hours, we get over 4 hours, SLA is marked as breach.
So essentially I missed my SLA.
You miss your SLA.
Yeah. That's a pretty standard industry. Yeah.
It is. So different types of SLA here through the middle. Service level agreement, SLA, common between a provider and a customer.
Okay. So like here at ServiceNow, there might be an SLA that when I order new software, I'm promised to have it within a week?
Yes, I think I've heard that one.
Okay, got it.
So yes, that would be you as the customer with the IT department
Got it.
Operational level agreement, OLAs, between departments, between business units.
Okay.
Underpinning contract being a key term there, contractors, vendors.
So like a third party.
A third party.
Okay.
3 different types of SLA, all stored on the same table, just classified differently for, say, reporting purposes.
Okay.
Overview, we have the definition, SLA workflow, so there's a workflow here. The default SLA workflow is designed to be used over and over, and it doesn't count minutes and hours, it counts percentage of time. So if your priority 1 SLA is 4 hours, it's going to count 50% being 2 hours.
Okay.
Using it again on a priority 3, which is 48 hours, it's going to count 50% of time being 24 hours.
Okay.
So it doesn't count actual minutes. It counts percentage. Retroactive start. So we have an option here to, as we're defining our SLA with a check mark, have retroactive start. The example I use here is me calling in at 6 a.m. saying my email doesn't work. And no problem. Micah can't access his email. Not a big problem for the organization. So it gets marked as a priority 3 incident. But then come around 8 o'clock, we get a lot of more people calling in saying they can't access their email.
Okay.
So then, we have a bigger problem here than just Micah forgot a password. So we go ahead and upgrade Micah's priority on his incident from a priority 3 to a priority 1.
P1, okay.
And say time has progressed. I called it in at 6. IT catches the issue at 10. My incident gets upgraded at 11 to a priority 1. Well, that's 5 hours. If our SLA for a priority 1 incident is 4 hours, with retroactive start, as soon as that priority field becomes priority 1, it'd be marked as breach. When we have the set start to...
So it would create it and it would be breached.
Immediately.
Okay.
That's where we have the set start to field would calculate from when the ticket was opened. Set start to, we have a couple options. Sure. Opened is a common one.
Or created, I was created. Or something like that. Okay.
So with retroactive start, once we hit that check mark, we have a set start to. Mm-hmm. And so that can be opened. We have a couple other options there. Created and opened by. And so we'll calculate off that timestamp.
Off that, okay, yeah, okay.
Duration type, when the user specified duration, we have a couple other in there built for you. Next business day, things of that sort. But user specified duration being very common. It's saying it's 4 hours, it's a day, or it's 24 hours.
So you're actually specifying in days, hours, minutes, seconds.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Down to the second?
Yes.
Oh, very cool.
And a day, and I'll show this, 1 day can calculate different than 24 hours based off of what schedule you're running.
Oh.
So the schedule over here, so if we're working 8 to 5 weekdays,
sure.
So that's the schedule we have to find. So it's only going to count time against the SLA during that 8 to 5 weekdays.
8 to 5, and that would be a day. Okay, that makes sense.
Time zone, we can hard set the time zone for these SLAs. We can leave it floating out to the caller. Also, I like this one. We can specify the time zone based off of the CI referenced. So the configuration
so the
items
CI is
time zone.
Oh, that would okay. So kind of like fits any process I may have in my organization.
Yes.
Okay.
Conditions, and these are all just conditions like our condition builder: start condition, pause condition. So if we're awaiting user info, we can pause the SLA. Reset, what conditions we're going to go ahead and reset this and start counting from scratch again.
Okay. So why might you want to pause a condition? I mean, what would a pause condition be used for?
Awaiting user info.
Oh, right. So like if I'm on the service desk and I'm calling my user and I need to have more information from them, and they don't get back to me for a week, I'm not getting dinged.
Absolutely.
Ah, that's great. Okay.
So
I don't have to use pause though.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what you have to use is a start and a stop.
Well, that makes sense.
Everything else is optional.
Well, just kind of like workflows, they have to have beginning and end. Projects have to have a beginning and an end.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And yeah, when we use pause, we use resume as well. Easy to just say when the pause conditions are no longer met.
Then resume.
Default SLA workflow. So again, we're counting time, sending a notification, counting time, sending a notification. So we count half of whatever allotted time the assignee gets notified. We count 25% more, so we're at a total of 75.
Okay.
We notify the assignee. We count the rest of the time. We notify the assignee and the assignee's manager. A little dot walking there, right? Assignee dot manager.
Got it. Okay.
For me, I'd like to go ahead and throw one in here just before we notify the assignee, before that SLA percentage timer. Mm-hmm. Maybe 20%, so we still have 5% of time.
Sure.
We notify somebody else.
Notify someone else, sure. Because at that point, you're breached.
Right.
Doesn't do much good.
So, yeah, just...
So we could modify any of these.
Definitely. This is just the default that's baseline for you.
So again, it might be, since it's a baseline, it might be a good idea to take a copy. Okay, and then just deactivate the original?
Yes.
Or unpublish it? Okay.
Unpublish.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so let's go ahead and get live in our instance and look at some SLA.
All right.
Our SLA, again, so we see this many different places in here, where to manage these things, we want to go to service level management, and then our SLAs. SLA definition is where we're defining them.
Defining the record.
Correct. Defining the SLA that we're going to use.
Okay, got it.
So I'm going to go ahead. We see a different type in here: OLAs, SLAs, priority one, resolution.
Oh, it is just a
type.
Just a type. Oh, okay.
A drop down on the form.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and pop up that form view. Name, so this will be my SLA. We'll call it an SLA, a target. So we can define these. These are optional, either response or resolution. So response, someone has said, hey, I have this record. Resolution is it's fixed. But
what if I leave it at none? It's just none.
None.
Okay.
Running on incident workflow, we're going to use that default workflow because we haven't gone in and made that copy like we were talking about. Give ourselves, a little bit of time. Over here on the right side, this is where we're talking about duration. So we have duration, days. I'm going to go ahead and say 2 days.
Okay.
And it tells us actual elapsed time, which I really like. Just as you're configuring this over on the right, it's going to tell you what it's doing up here. Schedule, SLA definition, and then
that is really nice.
And then we can go ahead and pick what schedule we want. So 8 to 5 weekdays, 8 to 5 excluding holidays.
And these are just sample schedules.
Yes, you can go ahead and get into schedules in the App Navigator and build these.
So as an administrator, I'd be required to build my own schedules.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Based off of what your organization calendar is.
Sure.
So we also can base this on no schedule. So it's just going to run 24/7.
Follow the sun. Oh, it says it on there. That's nice.
We can also base this off a schedule source field. So incident field, we can reference out to the CI. If the CI has a schedule.
Oh, okay. You said. Okay, got it.
Right now we'll just leave this SLA definition, and we're going to say 8 to 5 excluding holidays.
Okay.
Caller's time zone, so we're floating out to whoever the caller is on the record. This is where we can specify where the SLA lives. So if you have a headquarters for an organization, maybe they want all their SLAs to run off of the headquarters time.
That makes sense, sure. Like a multinational organization.
So our CI location time zone. But yeah, we're going to leave this floating out to the caller.
Okay.
And then
so it's whatever my process is. Again, it comes back to it, right? Yeah.
Our condition builder, when to start.
Looks familiar.
We're running off the incident table. We can pick any field we want to, and we'll say, I like active is true.
Makes sense.
Priority is 1. We have that retroactive start check mark. So
there it is. Okay.
We hit our check mark.
Oh, and then we get some additional fields.
Set start to.
Okay.
Closed, created, resolved, updated.
Oh, okay.
So when it was updated to a priority 1. So we do have some options built in here to not nullify, maybe fix that example I went through earlier where we're marked as breach already.
So in that case, if yours would have been updated, it wouldn't have breached, right? If it was left uncreated, then it would have breached.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Because this is when it was updated to the priority 1.
The priority 1. Oh, that makes sense.
We have a cancel condition, pause condition. These are all just conditions, right?
Sure. And you, like we said, we didn't have to
use any of these.
So it makes it much more flexible if we want to.
I'm just bring this over to active is false. So we have a start with an active is true, a priority 1, and a stop with an active is false.
Excellent.
So pretty simple to go ahead and define an SLA. Any questions here?
No, this really seems excuse my pun, but a book right out of Idle.
Yes. And it's nothing but a condition builder on all 4 of these tabs. So you wrap your brain around that, you got it.
Absolutely. No, that's great.
And I do like how it gives us... So notice that this updated. Actually, I didn't point this out when I went through. 7 days, 18 hours. Because we're still counting 2 days, but we're excluding holidays, and we're only counting time from 8 to 5.
Absolutely.
So if I wanted to...
So it's not going to breach until 11/17.
From anything created right now.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. That's very handy.
Calculating the math for you. Don't even have to do math. All right. So, service level agreement, different types, components, conditions, and that default workflow. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and create an SLA for our Infinity incidents. Back into a lab.
No, I'm excited. This will be fun. All right, let me give it a try. Well, that was easy.
Not too complicated there.
No, I enjoyed that one. That was pretty simple. So that's going to now track what? It's going to track how long it takes. So someone who orders, how long for them to get it, whether or not it's within the contractual obligation.
Correct.
Okay.
And again, the amount of time, we decided what it was.
Sure. Okay. Awesome.
All right, so with the end of Lab 4.4, we end Module 4.
Oh, man.
Service automation. Lots in there. The knowledge base, the catalog, the workflows. When and how often we would use these? Definitely when we're first getting implemented, we're going to be creating a lot of items, creating, updating, doing that copy for the workflows. And then there'll still be update. We'll still have to go in there and maintain it.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, and I love how they all use the same workflow engine.
Yes.
So ServiceNow, I just learn it once and I can reuse it all over the platform.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Cool.